Please be seated.
My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, as one community, we give thanks to God who has brought us together so that as one family, we may be renewed by His Word, by His body and blood, and by His Spirit, the Spirit of love and life that He constantly pours into our hearts. And we greet even those who are not within this structure, yung mga nasa labas dyan, hindi po kayo tagalabas. Kasama po kayo sa sambayanan na nagdiriwang ngayon. And we remember also our brothers and sisters, especially the children in Marawi, in places that have been affected by the typhoons, Urduha, Vinta, Agaton. We do not separate ourselves from them during this feast. In fact, this celebration of the feast of the tɑː́ggleɪ, the child Jesus, should really bring us closer to them as Jesus brings us closer to the Father and to each one. And I would like to welcome in our celebration some friends. We don't call them guests, we call them friends. They are from the town of TAH-glay in Spain. Sige ha, ayo ha. And last year, they invited me, and my parents and my brother, we went there. And now it's their turn to visit us with their parish priest. Saludos cordiales, y bienvenido a todos, especialmente al Padre, ¿dónde está? Sí, el querido Padre Baldomero Mata, cura párroco. Hagan ustedes el favor de levantarse. Muchísimas gracias por su presencia, su solidaridad y comunión con la Iglesia de las Filipinas. Kamala po ngayon. Kamaya na yun pa. Thank you very much. The feast of the tɑː́ggleɪ, Niño Jesus, which is the oldest image and also the oldest symbol of the Christian faith in the Philippines. But let us reflect on what the Gospel tells us. Jesus reminds His disciples and all of us, whoever does not accept the kingdom of God like a child will not enter it. The kingdom of God is being offered to us, and it is very different from the kingdoms of this world. In the first reading, we have in Isaiah already some images or symbols of this kingdom that God will give. A kingdom of justice, a kingdom of full and productive life, a kingdom of peace. And it will come through a new king from the line of David. But it is not just a human king. For this king who will inaugurate God's kingdom is filled with the zeal the power, the life of God. A beautiful description of a kingdom. But still, we have to ask, will people accept the kingdom? And what does it take for us to receive this kingdom? Kahit maganda yung offer, minsan, ayaw naman tanggapin. Meron man nagkwento sa akin may crush na crush siya. Lahat na ginawa niya. Nagpapabango, ngiti ng ngiti, ibabagsak yung susi, hindi naman pinupulo. Wala, kahit mag-offer ka, kung ayaw tanggapin, hindi tatanggapin It's the same with God's kingdom. God offers to reign. God offers to rule over us. But will people say, yes, rule over us? And what does it take? What are the dispositions needed for us to say, yes, Lord, I prefer you as ruler. I prefer your kingdom to other kingdoms. That's why St. Paul, in the second reading, the letter to the Ephesians, says, may the eyes of your hearts be enlightened, that you may know what is the hope that belongs to his call. What are the riches of glory in his inheritance among the holy ones? St. Paul knows human nature. He knows that we can ignore, we can waste the inheritance being offered to us. The answer of Jesus in the gospel is, you need to be like a child. And if you do not accept the kingdom of God like a child, you will not be part of it. But this answer comes from a narrative. People, presumably parents, were bringing their children to Jesus. Why? So that he might touch them. What is this? And Jesus later on laid his hand over them and embraced them. What is this? Asking Jesus to touch the children. Alam po ninyo, nung time na yun, during the time of Christ, the culture, especially the spiritual culture, said that the act of laying of hands, touching, especially children, is an act of blessing. May God bless you. And it is also an act of begging for protection. And the parents here brought their children. Children are the most helpless. They cannot feed themselves. They need to be helped. They need to be fed. They need to be protected. They need to be blessed. And the parents brought them to Jesus, asking him to provide what the children could not give to themselves. Kapag ang baby ninyo, isang buwan, dalawang buwan, umiyak, gutom, hindi mo sasabihin, sige, matuto ka na ngayon, mag-practice ka na. Sige, gumawa ka na sarili mo dyan. Magtimpla ka. Sige, maging adult ka na. Hindi. If you're in your right mind, you know a child needs protection, needs blessing, needs good acts. And the parents brought them to Jesus. They know Jesus could provide to the children what they could not provide to themselves. unfortunately, the disciples prevented the children from being brought to Jesus. Maybe they thought Jesus was doing something very serious at hindi dapat manggulo ang mga bata. Lagi naman natin tinitignan gano'n ang mga bata nakakagulo sa atin. Yung iba, dapat ang mga bata hindi umiiyak sa loob ng simbahan, nadi-distract kami. Nadi-distract. Kahit walang batang umiiyak, tulog naman ang mga matatanda. Sinisisi pa ang mga bata. Mabuti nga may umiiyak para gising at mga gano'n. Sisisihin pa mga bata. Dati gano'n sinisisi ang mga bata. Ang batang hindi umiiyak, patay. Kaya mabuti umiiyak yan. Para senyales na buhay. Kita niyo yung mga leaders at yung... Masaan ba sila? Ayan, tingnan niyo. Gagaling niyo, no? Mas magaling pa nga kayo magpasa kaysa doon sa ibang... Ang linaw. Yung magkanta. Galing. Bagay, ang ChiLd kasi patali. Gano'n, no? Parang, layo kayo na. Yan. But Jesus got angry. And He said, let the children come to me. They are being brought by their parents. Do not block them. Do not prevent them. For the kingdom of God belongs to them. They are the ones in need of a king, of a provider. Not like the other kings who will not provide but steal. Not like the other kings who will promote their own interests rather than the interests of the helpless. Don't prevent them from coming to me. They need God's kingdom. Do not block them. And He tells them, unless we become like children and accept God's kingdom like a child, we will not have any part in it. Jesus knows that we could pretend. We can pretend that, we can manage. Kaya ko yan. Di na ako bata. At yung mga ganun, yung nawawala na ng pagpapakumbaba na aminin, hindi niya kaya lahat, yan will not accept God as King. Because I am the King. I do not need any other king. I am no longer a child. I can do this. So, I eliminate the kingdom of God. But if we are humble, if we are vulnerable like children, then we can say sincerely, the prayer that Jesus the child taught us, Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. Eh tayo po minsan nabubuhay tayo doon sa yung kayamanan, yung pag-ilusyon na wala na tayong kailangan Diyos man o kapwa. Basta ako. Kanya-kanya na tayong kaharian. Kanya-kanya ng kareynahan. At lalo namang sumasama ang mundo. Kaya siguro sa Fiesta ngayon, lahat po tayo magpakabata. Kaya dalawang tanong lang po, unang tanong ay, ano yung mga ilusyon mo na kaya mo lahat at parang hindi mo na kailangan ang Diyos na maghari?
ang Diyos na mag-akay sa buhay mo. Maging bata muli. Maging bata muli. Hindi pa kabataan, no? Kundi yung tunay na bata, I need God. I need God's blessing. I need God's protection. At yung ikalawang tanong po, dito, the people brought the children to Jesus. But the disciples prevented the children from being brought to Jesus. Mamili tayo, ano ba? Tayo ba ang magdadala sa kapwa kay Jesus? O tayo ang magiging hadlang? Mga bata, mga estudyante, dalhin niyo ang inyong kaibigan kay Jesus at sa kabutihan. At pag sila ay naglalakad patungo sa kabutihan, huwag niyong hahadlangan. Halimbawa, nasa lubong niyo yung kaklase niyo. Sabi niyo, saan ka pupunta? Sa library, mag-aaral ako. Wag, sama sa amin. Tong-its tayo. Papunta na nga sa kabutihan eh. Dinadala na ito, dinagdangan mo pa. Saan mo dinadala ang kaibigan mo? Sana hindi sa bisyo. Sana hindi sa kalokohan. Sana hindi sa corruption. Sana hindi sa nakakasira sa sarili, nakakasira sa lipunan. Saan natin inaakay ang bawat isa? Mga magulang, saan natin inaakay ang mga bata? Baka bata pa lang, natututo na ng hindi magagandang salita. Kasi, yun naman ang naririnig sa bahay, miyaman, maya. Hindi inaakay na natin sila sa hindi maganda. Saan po inaakay, lalo na ang mga walang-wala? Saan natin inaakay ang mga kapos na kapos? Sana akayin natin kay Jesus at sa kabutihan. So yun lang po dalawang puntos na yun. Paano ako maging bata muli na nangangailangan sa Diyos na mag-hari sa akin? At hindi ako magpapanggap, kaya ko na ito, ako na ang mag-hari. At yung ikalawa, paano natin maihahatid kay Jesus ang napakarami, lalo na ang mga nagdurusa? How could we facilitate their coming to Jesus rather than preventing them from getting to know Jesus and coming close to Jesus? Let us now pause and welcome the message of the readings for today. Let us ask Jesus, the tɑː́ggleɪ, to teach us the ways of being a child and not prevent people from coming to Him.